We are standing in modern-day Warqa, Iraq, looking at this giant mound surrounded by a large flat terrain.
And this mound that we're looking at is called the White Temple and its ziggurat, which once towered above the flat terrain of Uruk and was made in circa 3500 to 3000 BCE.
It towered so much that it was even visible over the walls of the city. This made a powerful political statement of the authority of the deity worshipped and the city in general.
But what is a ziggurat?
Well, in the ancient world, ziggurats were one of the first great buildings and were made to uphold the temple closer to the heavens and provide access from the ground to the temple itself.
Yeah, and they often were made of baked mud, which was a material that would easily erode and so needed to be replaced often.
This wasn't really an issue though, since it was such a cheap and accessible material.
True, and they also were able to preserve and disguise the appearance of mud in the ziggurat and the temple as they would use a whitewash, which is why it's called the White Temple. Thanks to this whitewash, the structure would glisten in the sun.
Exactly, so this made for a striking visual that would contrast with the arid landscape. Another important note is that after being built by mud brick, it was then covered with glazed tiles, which improved the appearance and made it more durable. This amount of laborious work leads historians to believe there must have been an involvement of slave workers in its construction.
These innovations and ideas originated from the settlement at Uruk, which consisted of about 40,000 people.
Since they were agricultural and based on specialized labor, they were able to uphold their ziggurat and temple. They were also ruled by a theocratic form of government in which officials governed on a god's behalf, so the ziggurat also served to recognize the deity's political authority in Uruk.
Yeah, and in the White Temple and its ziggurat, the deity for it was Anu, which was the god of the sky and the most significant Sumerian deity. With these structures, the reasoning as to why they were so high was to not only establish authority, but also as a way to uphold the belief of gods descending to high areas on earth.
To achieve this height, the structure was made to resemble a mountain. The Sumerians incorporated certain architectural techniques as well to enhance the structure.
Some of these included making the ziggurat taper downwards so rainwater would wash off. They also used buttresses to create a light and shadow pattern, and also the bent axis plan in which one would have to turn 90 degrees to face the altar. And this arrangement was typical in ancient temples.
After going up these stairs, the top of the ziggurat was used for outdoor rituals while the temple was for indoor use.
Yes, and this temple adopted the typical Uruk high temple design, which consisted of a large central hall with rooms on either side. In these smaller rooms, deities were said to assemble before the priests.
In their architecture, they also made it so that the four corners of the ziggurat would align to the compass points.
And with this, it related the structure to the heavens.